What up, y'all? Appreciate you showing up, hanging out, listening to my dumb ass. Like and subscribe. So, another addendum, appendage, add on to last video where I was perturbed at your boy Blessing Adeoye Jr. I saw his not redacted statement, but his apology, if you want to call it that. I mean, I think he did actually apologize, so I'll give him that. And of course, I'm pretty sure he had to apologize because his bosses were like, yo, you're getting some blowback. Everybody loves jazz. Well, most people like jazz. And yeah, that wasn't a good look. And so he did his little retraction or whatever, his apology tour. It wasn't even a tour, just one stop apology, and yeah, that's the end of that. That's fine, whatever. But you know, stuff like that shouldn't happen in the first place. I know you're trying to catch that headline, you're trying to catch some clicks, and it worked, but not in the way that you would want it to, I guess. Or I mean, I guess any attention is good when it comes to this business, but whatever. But that's gone now. No, I'm not upset at Cursed. I mean Blessing. I'm not upset at him, but it's just I think it's more about the kind of rhetoric that is commonplace in defaming anything positive towards Xbox. It's like, yo, these three companies, let's just say Nintendo, Microsoft, and Sony, are all in this home gaming thing. We're not even talking about Steam. We could put Steam in there if you want to, too. GOG, Epic, all of them, right? Whatever, it doesn't matter. But as far as like targeting one of them for negativity, you know, Xbox is the fall guy. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, I know that people hate Microsoft for different reasons. You know, because of the past, because of whatever, because of Bill Gates or whatever, you know? But as far as you being a journalist, or I wouldn't consider him a journalist. Maybe he is. I don't know what his background is, but I would say he's more of a content provider. He's a creator. He's a content creator. He's a host of shows on the internet, particularly YouTube. And you know, it's fun in games as far as the console war goes. Like, we could talk shit about fanboys. We could do that, right? You say, oh yeah, your console's whack. Oh yeah, your console's whack. Blah blah blah. You know, it's the dozens, right? That's fine. But what he did, like I said, he literally attacked Jez, and that would affect his livelihood if, you know, taken the wrong way or whatever. And you know, cooler heads prevailed, obviously. But like, you know, he was on the wrong side of this. And then he said in his apology, yeah, I kind of got mixed up in my feelings. I'm paraphrasing, of course, but you know, and I ascribed the anger or whatever, the hypeness or whatever he said, as far as disappointment in Microsoft, and I ascribed that to Jazz instead, and that was my bad, and I'm sorry, blah blah. I'm like, fine. Listen, we've heard enough PR this whole week. We don't need kind of funny PR because it's not as juicy, you know. Some may call it zesty. Not I didn't say that. I'm just saying some may. But anyway, moving on, because there's more important things to talk about than Cursed Adeoye. I mean, Blessing Adeoye. It's so hard to get the so similar names. Marathon. There was a server slam. I talked about it in the last video, but the last video's audio got destroyed right at the point where I had stopped talking about Cursed Blessing Adeoye. And so I was like, okay, well, and that's why the video ends so abruptly without no outro, because it's like, yeah, it was just destroyed. I was like, okay, whatever. And that's why I was so short. But I want to talk about it now because I got a little bit more context or information, or both. I've heard from several creators, or not create. Well, they are creators, but they also participated in the server slam. One person being Luke Stevens, Vanilla Man. And then someone else, is brand new. I never listened to him before, but I was like, let me just click. He was talking about it. I want to hear it, And he didn't have very good things to say about Marathon. One of the complaints was that it's, I don't know if boring is the right word, but like the world was kind of empty until they got into like a skirmish, and then that even was, I think he was saying that I don't know if him or Luke Stevens said this, but they were playing and they got into like 3, like I guess in that one play session, different firefights, and that was kind of it. And it was like, it wasn't a lot of, you're just kind of running around looking at stuff in the map, and there's not a lot of gunplay and stuff. And look, the gunplay, as I understand it, is great because Bungie, that's the one thing that Bungie knows how to do. That's their expertise. Not what games to put out, not what games as service games will be successes or failures. That's not their expertise. Their expertise is gunplay in a game. Let's be real. Let's just remember that, right? And so, yeah, that's good. But as far as it being a game that's that people are gonna want to play, like everything else surrounding the game, I don't think so. And the thing is, this game is $40, and right now, Luke Stevens said it. He said, I would not recommend paying $40 for this game. If it was free, then you'd be like, yo, I'm gonna play it, right? And the thing is, what he said was very important. It's very cool, and I think it's one of the main reasons why Sony is charging $40. He said the barrier to entry for a free-to-play game is 0. You play it, but also the barrier for exiting, for leaving, is also, whatever. I didn't pay for it. I'm out. Pew. You could be in a bad mood, and usually you would stay for an hour. You'd be like, you give it 2 or 3 matches, but you'd be like, I'm in a bad mood. You play one match, you're like, F this game, bloop, and then you delete it. Done. Because it's free. You ain't pay $40. But if you pay $40 for it, you say, all right, pay $40. Let's see what this got. And then you're like, I don't know. Maybe if I play some more, I'll give it a chance. You're more inclined to play it more because you've invested your $40. You don't want to feel like you got ripped off. And especially, well, PlayStation, they suck. So you can't get a refund. You download it, it's yours. You don't even have to play it. You download it, no refund. That's why I would suggest everyone to buy it on Steam, because Steam will give you, I believe it's 2 hours. So you play for an hour and 59 minutes and 59 seconds, you'll be like, yeah, no, I want my money back. Get my $40 back. Pew. A lot of people are going to buy it on Steam because of that, as opposed to PlayStation. All the Ponies and Donkey Unicorns are buying on PlayStation and pretend that it's good and be like, blah, and it's going to be trash. And they're going to keep playing it, trying to make it good. Like, if I play it enough, I'm going to like it. I'm going to learn to love it. I'm going to learn to, it's going to be so good. I played it so much, it's going to be great. Nah, bro. If it ain't popping off, I mean, they improved some stuff. Let's not get it twisted, but it still ain't good. So, and that's the problem. That's not what they needed to do. They needed to make a banger that's going to supplant one of these other games. Apex Legends, Fortnite, Overwatch, which is hilarious. Because if y'all didn't know, Overwatch is getting a resurgence. I think they're having I heard Jez and them talking about it. I think they're having a resurgence. It's a crossover with some anime, something anime. I was like, I don't even know. But Jez was like, what? Oh, for real? Oh. I was like, oh, okay. I guess that's. I've been slacking in my Mac when it comes to anime. I have not been keeping up, and that's my bad. I need to like go deep. I think the problem with me with anime is that I tend to go for like the crazy exaggerated animation, like Trigger does that. Whatchamacallit, I was gonna say Production IG used to do it back in the day, like Ghost in the Shell and stuff, but I mean, I saw Attack on Titan. It's all right. It's cool. Anyway, But yeah, marathon's not looking so hot. So I give it. I don't think they're gonna give up on it. I think they're gonna try to keep it moving, try to invest in it and keep it going. But it's not gonna do what they need to do, and so we'll see. We'll see about that. I'm getting rained on. It's raining. All right. And the last thing, God of War. What did somebody call it? God of old dad bod, or old dad bod of war, old bod of war, dad bod of war, something like that. Look, I like the actor dude. I forgot his name. I saw him in something else, and he was just like he had all his hair and his beard, and that's all he did. I don't think he actually talked that much in that show, whatever it was. But I was like, oh yeah, I've seen him before, like once. And the kid looks, whatever. But that picture is horrible. That's the worst. That's so bad. How? I don't. That. I'm befuddled at all of the rakes that Sony has been stepping on in just this February, only in February. Can't remember what happened in January. But listen, Bluepoint, Marathon, old dad bod of war, dad bod of war. Little Atreus with his head is squished this way, squish. Got a little hamburger face. And like everybody else is cool, like as far as the casting, I was like, oh yeah, that's Manny Patinkin, and that's what's his face, and that's the dude from Alita Battle Angel, and okay, yeah, he's okay, all right. But then Kratos, I'm like, and who was it that said he doesn't look? It was Everborn Saga. I think it was Everborn Saga, or maybe it was okay, it's not there. I can't remember one of them. I was listening to their show today, and it said. The problem they have with the actor that's playing Kratos is that he doesn't look like a Greek person, a Greek man. Greece, right? That's where they're Greece. He doesn't look Mediterranean. He said olive skin. It was something. He said olive skin and all that stuff. And I was like, I mean, you can't really see his olive skin because he's got the ashes of his dead family or whatever. But, so that's not it. But it is facial features. Like, his face is... He was right. He's like, looks like a Viking. And I was like, yeah, he does. Even though they shaved his head and they put the color in his beard. Because, them Grecians, the Mediterranean, they got some thick hair. Their hair is like a blap. Kishman blap. They got thick hair. It ain't no thin, scribbly, scrawny. He got a beard, but it ain't like a Spartan beard. Go watch 300. This is Sparta, and he kicked him, and you see his beard glisten in the sunlight, glistening beard. That's what they need to put some soul glow in it or something. I don't know what they need to do, but they need to permarize his beard. They need to do something, add some hair. I don't know, it's a little scrawny like around here or something. I mean, I'm jealous because I can't grow a beard like that, but I'm just saying that's why I got this. Compensate. But no, that's. I would be like, yo, what Sony could do. Sony, one thing they do well, Spider-Man, Spider-Verse movies. I can't argue with their animation studio is holding up most of Sony right now, and their camera stuff because they're literally the only camera sensor manufacturer, I think. So they have a monopoly on that market. So yeah, there you go. But like forward facing, you're like, okay, what Sony got? You look at name the movies that you're like, yo, that's a Sony movie. Besides the Spider-Man Marvel produced Sony movies, the ones that Kevin Feige and all that stuff they actually make, and then Sony does the production on it, as far as the physical production. But as far as creatively, that's Marvel. That's that deal. That's how that deal works. So Sony's just sitting back and it's like, yeah, get the grips from our team, and then get the lightning dudes and whatever, and then Kevin Feige uses his brain cells to make it good, because that's what he do. But what has Sony done that's like, oh, that's dope? Craven? Whack. Mobius? Whack. Madam Web, whack. What else? This is plenty of other ones I don't even remember. Venom, first one was cool. The rest of them were hot trash garbage. Second one, Third one, get this out of my face. That's how I was like, this is like a comedy. What is this? Huh? It's bad. I just hope they do Venom justice in Spider-Man. I want Spider-Man to get the symbiote, and then I was gonna say Flash. It wasn't Flash that had the symbiote. It was wow, my brain just I thought it was Flash. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But yeah, and this is TV. I mean, look, Sony makes a lot of TV shows. There are a lot of TV shows. You don't even know that Sony made it. You're like, oh yeah, it's a show. Is it good? I mean, it's not like one of the top shows. Like, it's not like Game of Thrones, or I was gonna say the Lord of the Rings show. That's a good show, but it's just it's not like Wheel of Time. That was pretty good. What was a good show? I know the Harry Potter show is gonna be pretty dope. Oh yeah, I should talk about Warner Brothers, actually, right? The Warner Brother Paramount fallout. Not fallout, the fall in. What do we call it? Anyway. Well, yeah, Sony, whatever. That God of War picture was horrible. God of War. Bad. That was bad. That was so bad. Oh, but anyway, last thing. Warner Brothers trying to sell their stuff. They're trying to get with Netflix. Then Paramount was like, nah, B. They stuck their foot in the door. They said, nuh-uh, y'all ain't closing this. And so they gave them, I think it's 100 and, it wasn't 110. Was it 110 billion? And the reason why it's 110 billion is because they had to pay for the breakup fee of Netflix and Warner Brothers. Also, there's a lot of other stipulations. Like, if the deal doesn't go through, then Paramount still has to pay them like $7 billion. And if it doesn't go through at a certain amount of time, they have to pay $750,000 every 3 months or something, going until it's done, or until I guess they get to the 7 billion, which is 10 quarters. I don't even know math. I ain't mathing that right now. And so I was like, okay. And I think, I mean, what people are saying, or what Kei Asante and Everborn Saga and Paris was there too. Basically, what they were saying is that the reason why it happened that way, the reason why Paramount got back in there, is because the shareholders did not want to get in a bidding war for Warner Brothers, because that would tank the stock, and it would they didn't want to deal with it. So they're like, how we get out of this? How to do it? And so Paramount's like, yo, we'll pay all this stuff, man. We're gonna give you $3 billion, and then if it don't work, then $7 billion more. Blah, blah, blah. They're like, they just gonna give us money? Okay. Boop, 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 boop. So they save $83 billion that they were gonna spend. Plus they got $3 billion. Plus their stock went back up when the news broke that they're not buying it anymore. So Netflix and their execs, and their board members and shareholders, they win. They win in every aspect, in every different scenario which this falls apart or doesn't. They win. That's good. I mean, Paramount wanted it, so, and that wasn't I mean, sure. The one thing I don't know what they're gonna do, but rumors are is that they're going to get rid of the HBO name and just pull all that into Paramount Plus. I don't know how to feel about that, because HBO is when the dawn of cable happened. Remember? Remember that? And the HBO was like, remember, it was like flying through the city, and the bus came through, and then it's like, it was in like 80s, 83 or something like that when that came out. And I was like, man, I watched it the other day. I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. But, you know, I mean, ultimately, ultimately, it doesn't matter. People will get used to not using the HBO. So I mean, they got rid of it, right? They just called it Max because it used to be HBO Max, then they just call it Max, and now they're just gonna get rid of it altogether and just be Paramount Plus, and they just own all of their properties, IPs, and stuff. Okay, I mean, Harry Potter is the big one, so and not to mention, like, I believe that Netflix was not. They didn't really care about the gaming part side of it, and so they weren't in their evaluation of the price. They didn't consider the worth of those studios and those IPs and properties and stuff. And so I'm like, that's kind of messed up. But whatever, they ain't getting it anyway, so it's all Paramount. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully, I mean, the Hogwarts Legacy 2 is gonna come out, and they'll make that new Batman game and all that stuff. So I still have faith. I think what they should do. There's a free one, Warner Brothers, Paramount, whatever y'all gonna call this video game. Make a Plastic Man game. Make that. I'm still waiting for a Plastic Man movie. I've refused to watch The Flash with Plastic Man in it, although I am curious. Pause, not like that. But I keep reading them like Batman is afraid of Plastic Man because he realizes that he's like the most dangerous being on the planet because you can't kill Plastic Man. And I'm like, wait, you can't kill Plastic? Why can't you kill Plastic Man? And it's like, oh, because he can reform himself, I guess, back from a single molecule or something, or I forgot what. I'm like, yo, that's crazy. It's just like, man, they need somebody. I mean, James Gunn is there, so a Plastic Man movie would be kind of tight if James Gunn did it. They need a Plastic Man movie. James Gunn, do a Plastic Man movie. That cartoon was hot back in the day, but a Plastic Man movie would be real good. He could do some and he's like crazy. He's like a crazy person too, so that would be interesting. I think that DC has a bunch of interesting characters that it's just hard because they're not in the zeitgeist. They're not as popular as Marvel characters, and that's a shame. But anyway, that's a super deviation of topics. But at least I crammed them all in. I appreciate y'all hanging out your own listeners. Like and subscribe. Hit me up in the comments below. Let me know what you think about, Warner Brothers, that whole Netflix thing, Paramount. Dad Bod of War. Oh boy, that picture is horrible. Marathon. Will it flop? Will Marathon be Concord 3? I think there are 3, yeah, because High Guard was 2, Concord's 3, Fair Game $ is 4. Listen, if Marathon, aka Concord 3, fails, which it kind of seems like it's gonna fail based off of what they needed to do and what it's gonna do, it is a failure technically. It will be, excuse me. Yeah, Fair Game has no chance. Fair Game, they need. I don't know what they need to do, but every time they try, they're fail. I can't speak English. That's how bad it is. They are failing at every swing that they have not hit the ball yet. They're going to continue to miss it. They've been missing for decades. They have never been able to successfully craft and nurture, organically grow. Organically. A game's a service game. Now, you can say Gran Turismo. I consider that grandfathered in because it's, one of the first. That's like, saying Halo or whatever. Halo was good in the beginning too, so, Or Gears. That was good online multiplayer. But the thing about Gears is Gears is still part of that old school multiplayer where it's just like, team deathmatch, is there capture the flag in Gears? But King of the Hill, all that stuff. That's more Halo, but whatever. I think they have that too. But yeah, it's more that kind of traditional multiplayer stuff. Like if they made, imagine this, if they made a Gears of War battle royale, like a battle royale that took place in Gears of War universe, like they made a map of Jacinto or something, or what was another city? I don't remember. I think Jacinto was the city where the E-Dace happens, right? I don't know. But whatever the city's called. And it's just a big map of the city, maybe some countryside, blah, 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 blah. And it's just like a battle royale. And once again, it would just be a mode. It's not like, oh, the whole game is that, just a mode plus that plus the multiplayer. That would be kind of interesting to see how it goes. I mean, I would play that. Gears is fun. But anyway, it's raining, so I'm a bounce. But I appreciate you guys hanging out, showing up, listening to my dumb ass like subscribe. I already said that. Hit me in the comments. I already said that. But yeah, I always read the comments. Believe me, I do. I try to answer a few. If you ask me a direct question, I will try to answer it. I try to keep up on that stuff because you guys kind of make it worth it. You guys are funny. It's crazy. Salute, Adidas, Adidas 20, and all the other peeps that are like cross-pollinated throughout like all of these shows and stuff. WBG, and then Kesate and his show and stuff. Wow, I just totally forgot. Anyway, Everborn Saga, there you go. And Paris, and Xbox 2, and all of us kind of go throughout all of the community podcasts, and that's cool to see. When I go on a different podcast, I go to On Point for Gamers, and I see you guys, and they're like, you guys, yeah, you know what I'm saying. And I try to jump in, I try to give a couple bucks here and there, but like schedule wise, it's like On Point for Gamers, I can usually go in a little bit, but I'm usually working. I'm usually either working on this video, or I'm working on music, or I'm doing something else, so it's hard for me to do that and then listen and participate, because I need to focus. But yeah, I definitely appreciate y'all guys, and yeah, I'll talk to y'all on the next one. To the weed.